In this battle, we are facing Rippo. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. But anyways, this guy is actually one of the top players in this game. I think he's actually top 5 at the moment. And you will see he actually has a pretty stacked setup here of really good Pokemon. Like, this is a Libero Cinderace, so it's actually banned from standard play because of how good it is. I mean, typically I do like to play at the OU level, but right now, you know, I still have to actually get a proper team. I mean, I don't really have access to Mega Evolution yet, so I really, you know, I'm not in here to make demands. I'm here to just get battles in, so that's why I kind of just let it slide for this. So anyways, though, I had the lead matchup of Cinderace into Ribombee, and I really wanted to set up Sticky Web because this team is kind of structured to take advantage of it to some aspects, at least with the offensive Pokemon. But you know, you'll see its effect later on the game. So anyways, I switch in on the Cinderace and I go for a T-Wave. He goes for a Sucker Punch. Not necessarily the best play by any means, because now I get Paralysis off and I'm going to be able to fire off a Moonblast on this dude, which should do super effective damage right here. And it does, which is really good. Now he's going to go for the U-turn here, which is stat boosted by Libero, so it does some pretty juicy damage to Cresselia, which is not good because ideally I want to keep this at higher HP because it's going to be a really useful tank. So anyways, here he goes right into Ribollon, and I'm wondering why would he do that? It's probably because he has substitutes or, you know, sleep powder or something, because there's no reason you want to switch in on a T-Wave Pokemon. Now of course he could have Bug Buzz, but I'm sure that Bug Buzz is not going to be able to finish out Cresselia because Cresselia is really bulky even at low HP, so it's going to be able to live. So I'm looking at my options. I mean, I do have Ribombee, which could go for Trick, and you know, I could kind of mess him up if he goes for substitutes or, you know, Quiver Dance, although it's kind of risky, especially because if he goes for Quiver Dance and this is a PvP Ribollon, then he should be able to outspeed me and then take me out with a Hurricane that's boosted by Compound Eyes. So I figured that Excadrill would be a neutral switch in. He actually goes for Sleep Powder. Now, typically, when you're playing by the OU rules, you shouldn't be spamming Sleep because it is actually incredibly OP. So you should only have one Pokemon asleep at a time, which is what I was hoping he would stick to. So I go into Tundurus Terrian, and he actually sets up a substitute here, so he's probably going to try and get that Quiver Dance setup going down, and I definitely don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go right for a raw Volt Switch. I mean, this should hopefully outspeed because, I mean, this specific Tundurus is extremely fast. I mean, it has full speed in Lesbit, and it has 101 base speed. And I was thinking he might actually try and go for Sleep Powder again. No one's going to actually enforce that he follows the Sleep Clause, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna spam the Sleep Powder. So, you know, the good thing is Cradily is a grass type. Now it's not really the optimal switch in here because, I mean, I'm still gonna take huge damage from Bug Buzz, and you know, he does, you know, have, you know, the ability to actually, you know, he could do damage with that Ribollon, and I don't really want to mess it up too early, but you know, that was definitely a good opportunity to bring Cradily in. So now he's going to go into his Garchomp, and I really don't see too much of a threat or for this, at least, because Garchomp, I mean, it doesn't hit me super effectively. But really any attacks like that it normally gets, like Fire Blast, you know, Outrage, Draco Meteor, Earthquake, Swords Dance, those are the typical moves you'll see, and none of them are going to be able to do massive damage, whereas I feel like I'm going to get a lot of value out of Stut Rock, unless his Togekiss, of course, has Defog, which I'm banking it not having. So I do get the Stut Rocks up, and now I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do, because he probably went Poison Jab, predicting the Ribombee, so this guy is definitely a higher level opponent. So now I'm going to go into Tundurus Terrian, predicting the Earthquake, and you know, even if he does it, it's going to be fine, because I should be able to take a hit, and you know, it's going to be worth it because I have Hidden Power Ice on this, so if I can take out his Mega, I'll definitely get some really good value right here. So we are able to successfully take care of the Garchomp here, and that could have been a problem because, you know, Garchomp is a genuinely scary threat that you want to get rid of if you can. So now on the Tundurus, he's going to bring in his Dragapult, which is another dangerous Pokemon. I'm sure that this would be banned if it was in Generation 6 or Generation 7, but because of the power creep in Gen 8, it's you know, a viable choice. But anyways, seeing that this is in, I'm definitely gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do here, because I mean, Dragapult has the danger of being both a special and a physical attacking Pokemon, and it has an insane speed stat of like above 140, so you can't even bank on outspeeding it. So you know, anything here isn't really too safe. So I'm thinking about Ribombee in case he goes for a Draco Meteor, or you know, even Dragon Darts, because I could kind of pressure him out with Wall Switch, and or not Wall Switch, with Moonblast. And even if I don't go for Moonblast, I could even take that opportunity to set up Sticky Web, because it could actually be pretty helpful. So anyways, here though, I decided to stay in and just go for a Wall Switch, because I know I can take any hit. Now it wasn't, you know, the best tanking right there, and it probably wasn't the best move either, because now I'm only gonna have one more attack left because of the Life Orb chip damage. But I did want to kind of scout and play it safe, because you know, I didn't really want to have to start sacrificing things too quickly to this Dragapult, especially since I've got a lot of value already out of my Thundurus. So anyways, here it's kind of tricky what I want to do here, because I mean, I could go for a Moonblast to finish the job. However, I was actually thinking maybe I should just go for the Sticky Web, because that will kind of ruin the rest of his team, and I'll get a lot of long-term value out of that, which is precisely what I commit to doing. Now he actually has Flamethrower, which luckily is not enough to one-shot the Ribombee, and this doesn't really even have any investments. I might consider that down the line for the future, because I think actually having utility would be a lot more useful than offensive capabilities. So now, I mean, Ribombee isn't really going to be doing much more. I mean I could switch out, but I don't want to take any damage on my other Pokemon, so I'm willing to sacrifice this here for the Sticky Web, which I think will get me some good value later on in this game. So now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. You know, I probably should go into Conkeldurr here, because I will have Knockoff, which should be able to finish the job, and I should be able to tank hits pretty good. So it actually takes this opportunity to fire off a Draco Meteor, which does massive damage. I mean, man, he's got a lot of value out of this Dragapult right here. So I'm gonna go for the Knockoff, and I'm gonna finish that off. That was, you know, really dangerous, and that's only spell tag, so I don't even want to imagine what wonders Life Orb will be able to do. So we do get the Guts boost now, which is definitely going to be really useful, and he goes into his Togekiss, which is actually another threat for the most part, but at the same time, this is also healing fodder for my Cresselia. So I'm going to take this opportunity right here to bring in Cresselia and heal up, so that, you know, I can get some more use out of it later on in the game. So he goes for a Heal Bell, which unfortunately is going to restore his Cinderace, and that's going to be kind of annoying, because having paralysis on it at the start of the game was definitely really helpful. So I'm going to go for the Moonlight here to bring my Cresselia to good HP, especially in case he tries to go for any flinch hacks with the Air Slash spam, because I mean, it does have Serene Grace, so it is capable of being annoying. But you know, I'm not too concerned, because he could also have Hustle or some other random useless ability. So anyways, here I'm gonna just see how much Psyshock does. It's really not that good, so I don't think I want to commit to that. But I'm trying to also scout out and see how this guy reacts to paralysis, because like some players, every time they get paralyzed, they're instantly gonna try going for Heal Bell. So I'm thinking maybe I can set it up to where I paralyze him, and then on the Heal Bell, I'll be able to bring in my Thundurus and fire off a T-Bolt or a Wall Switch, which should probably get me a kill, unless he goes into his Meowscarada, which I'm not sure he's willing to risk. And even if he does, then I still should get some really juicy damage. So I'm going to go on in a Thundurus, hoping that he goes for the Heal Bell. Now unfortunately, this guy, either he predicted me or he's not consistent, because he goes for the Air Slash, and that is enough, unfortunately. And I mean, if I had kept Thundurus in better health, I might have been able to survive better, but you know, it is what it is. I can't really do much about it now. So now I'm going to bring in Conkeldurr, and because he's paralyzed, I should be able to outspeed and finish the job with a Guts boosted Facade. Now if that didn't finish him off, I would have definitely been in trouble, but luckily it is enough to suffice, and that Togekiss is no longer going to be our problem. So now he's going to have to switch something else in here on Conkeldurr. He goes into Wibbleon. Now I could actually switch out. I mean, it is kind of tempting, but at the same time I'm thinking I want to take the risk and see if Mach Punch will actually do enough to break his substitute range, because I'm thinking he might try going for a substitute here. Now unfortunately I don't get that one right, and I don't even do enough damage to bring him to red, so he's going to be able to actually put in another substitute, which sucks. So I'm going to have to bring in Cresselia now. I probably should have just brought this in earlier. I actually kind of regret not doing that, but you know, now it is what it is. And I'm going to fire off a Rock Slide here to you know, neutralize this Wibbleon, because it is actually, you know, it's going to be a disturbance, and I want to get rid of it if I can. So he's going to set up his substitute, probably trying to bank on me missing a Rock Slide. Luckily in this battle I'm not going to miss my Rock Slides, which is great, because that would, you know, be really problematic. So we're going to be restoring our HP, and I'm going to fire off another Rock Slide. So he's going to go for a Hurricane. Luckily we are able to take the hit really good, but he gets Confusion, which is going to be terrible, because you know, he wanted to avoid that if possible. So we get the Rock Slide though, and that is the Wibbleon out of the way. I mean, truth be told, it was kind of neutralized once those Stud Rocks went up, because you know, it can only do so much after a while. So now he brings in his Cinderace, and I'm not sure how I'm going to try and react to this. Now one thing I noticed, he actually doesn't get his speed lowered by the Sticky Web. So I didn't notice this during the battle, but I noticed that afterwards. So that's probably because he's running heavy duty boots, which I wasn't even aware was in this game, but that is going to actually help his Cinderace out a lot. So anyways, here I'm going to go into Cresselia in case he goes for the high jump kick. I'm kind of trying to scout around, because I don't want to lose the what's it called? Oh, Cresselia, in case that's going to be useful later on. So he actually goes for a U-turn, surprisingly, and that's going to do some pretty juicy damage here. And he goes into his Meowscarada, which does not have heavy duty boots, so he's going to take some Stud Rock damage, and he's also going to get his speed lowered here. So anyways, now I got to figure out what I want to do here. I mean, I could go for the T-Wave, I could go for the Moonlight, or I could even take the risk and go for the Moonblast, because if he has Sucker Punch, I'm not sure if this Pokemon gets that or not. It's a fairly recent Pokemon. But if he does, then he will be able to take out Cresselia here, but luckily he doesn't, and we're going to be able to get off some really nice damage here, almost a one-shot, which is crazy because of the critical hit. So that is definitely some great value right there, and he's going to go for a knockoff, finish off Cresselia. But I mean, I think Cresselia has done its job in this battle, so I'm happy to let that one go down. So he's going to restore some HP here with his leftovers. Now I got to figure out if I want to go into Cresselia or Escadrille. So I was thinking Escadrille is probably the best move here, because I figured it should be able to take care of the job. So I decided to go for a Rapid Spin, because I'm thinking I could get the speed, and that would definitely be useful, although we are going to stay asleep that turn, which is not really a surprise. So now at this point I'm really just praying that we wake up soon, because if we don't, you know, we're going to be in trouble. So I'm going to go for the Rock Slide here actually, because I'm not sure if Rapid Spin is actually going to do enough at this point, and I kind of want to play it safe. So, you know, we do take care of the Meowscarada. Now, also do keep in mind, I forgot, or I didn't realize that this guy had heavy-duty boots. So, I was thinking that I didn't need the speed there. So, anyways, I want to go for a Sword Dance. I was thinking he might not have the speed, so he's going to go for a Sucker Punch. Actually, he is heavy-duty boots, so he doesn't have to do that. And he's going to go for the Pyro Ball and take me out. It doesn't matter what I did at that point, because, you know, it wasn't going to change the outcome. So now I'm going to go into Cresselia, and all I can do at this point is pray that he doesn't have high jump kick. I'm going to go for Recover, because, I mean, he is liberal, so he can change his type and actually resist Rock Slide. So unfortunately, he does have high jump kick, and that is going to be enough to finish the job. Definitely a good battle, and I will have to come back later for my revenge.